there seems to be hope for Lebanon. Is that possible? Yes. Something positive is happening in Lebanon, and you need to know about it. Hi, this is Joel Rosenberg, founder and editor-in-chief of All Arab News as well as All Israel News, and this is a story that involves both Lebanon and Israel. On Friday, January 9th, the Lebanese Parliament voted to elect a new president. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because, for several reasons. One, it's important because Lebanon has not had a president for a year and a half. It has tried 13 times to elect a president. Again, the people of Lebanon don't elect a president in their system. This is elected by the members of the parliament. And so 13 times they've tried and 13 times they've failed until now. Now, every other time, the battle was over whether an Iranian regime and a Hezbollah regime puppet was going to become the president or not. And the parliament was deadlocked because there are people inside the parliament that, sort of want to give Iran and Hezbollah whatever they want, and others like, no, we're not doing that. And it was a huge deadlock, and they couldn't come to an agreement. So what's happened? The entire dynamic in Lebanon has changed, right? Hezbollah is on the ropes. It's maybe not defeated, but it's severely degraded because of Israel's war against them, because of the war they started against us. Iran's regime is vulnerable. And what's happened now, 80% of Hezbollah's missile forces and so forth have been destroyed. All the top leadership of Hezbollah in Lebanon have been killed, have been assassinated by Israel, including Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah. So where did that leave? Suddenly, that leaves Lebanon feeling like maybe we could step out of the shadow of the Iranian regime. Maybe we don't have to be slaves to the Iranian regime and to Hezbollah. Maybe we can reassert our own sovereignty, take our country back from these monsters, and have a more normal pathway forward. The man they elected is a guy named Joseph Aoun. Now, Joseph Aoun has no relation to the previous president, Michel Aoun, who stepped down on October 2022. Same name. That's because the Aoun name is a very common name among Lebanese Christians. Okay, and sure enough, this new man, Joseph Aoun, I'm actually intrigued. Now, I don't want to overstate it. There's going to be much more. We're going to need to look at him, what he said in the past, who he really is, what he really believes. But I will tell you, there is a growing perception, even in Israel, that Joseph Aoun is a type of person we could do business with, meaning he's a normal person, he's a rational person, he's a responsible person. He's not a puppet of the Iranian regime. He's not a puppet of the Hezbollah terror army that has taken over Lebanon. This is a moment that maybe Lebanon and the Lebanese people can step out of the horrific shadow of Iran and Hezbollah. Now, just a couple last thoughts here, and we'll be doing more, again, coverage on All Arab News, All Israel News, but I actually think it's possible that in the next few years, Lebanon might want to make peace with Israel and even join the Abraham Accords. Now, I'm not saying that as a prediction. I'm saying I think that's where the Lebanese people want to go. Not because they love Israel, but because they don't want to be at war. This war has been terribly costly. The previous war, what was known as the Second Lebanon War in 2006, was terribly costly to the Lebanese people. If you want a Lebanon first government, then that means I don't want war with Israel. I don't want Hezbollah to be in charge. I don't want Iran to be in charge. We want to be a free people, a sovereign people. We don't want militias and drug runners and terror groups to have all the weapons. We want our government to be in charge, to be sovereign, and to rid ourselves of all these threats, including the threat of Israeli bombing. Why is Israel bombing? Not because we want to, because Hezbollah started this war. So Joseph Aoun is interesting. Now, does he have the strength to lead Lebanon in this direction? Maybe. Maybe. He is the former head of Lebanon's army. So he's a military man. He didn't run for president. He hasn't been part of these 13 rounds. He did not want to be the president. But he became the consensus candidate because he's not under Iran's thumb. He's not under Hezbollah's thumb, and he wasn't one of these other candidates that were desperately wanted the job and that nobody could agree on. He's a consensus candidate. And some of the things that he has just said in recent days, as he sort of began speaking to the nation, have been very encouraging. Talking about that the government of Lebanon needs to have the monopoly on all arms. Why does he say that? Because he means that Hezbollah shouldn't even have any arms, right? You don't want a country where the terrorists and the drug runners and the mafias have all the weapons and the government is weak and under their thumb. No. So he wants to change that. Will it be easy? It will not be easy. Lebanon is a basket case, economically, politically. But we want to pray for Lebanon. We want to pray for the Lebanese people. We want them to emerge out of this darkness. Now, long-term, biblically, prophetically, Lebanon has got a lot of dark days ahead of it. That's another video for another article for another day. We'll talk about Lebanon and Bible prophecy. But right now, you even have the foreign minister of Israel, Gideon Sa'ar, say congratulations to the new president of Lebanon. That has not happened. No Israeli foreign minister has said congratulations to a Lebanese president or prime minister in decades because they've all been under the Iranian and Hezbollah banner. And but that's a change. It's a big change. It's an important change. It's one you need to know about. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm watching this. There's a lot to watch. Trump is coming back to power on Monday. The hostages may be set free out of Gaza, maybe. I hope so. Let's pray so. Turkey is trying to consolidate power in Syria right now and move up to the Israel border. That's a problem. Is Saudi Arabia open to making a deal with Israel in 2025 to make peace? There's a lot of things going on, a lot going on. And I think there's a Trump effect going on as he resets everybody's expectations of what is and what could be. So we'll watch all of it, but especially I want you to know that I don't think Lebanon gets enough coverage. I don't think the events of the last few days have gotten enough coverage in the international media, certainly not in the Christian media. So I want you to understand that a Lebanese Christian, Maronite Christian, is the new president of Lebanon. He seems like a reasonable, rational, normal person, but also a strong person who is a military man himself. He used to be the commander of Lebanon's forces. Could he lead Lebanon in a better direction out of the trap of Iran and Hezbollah? Let's pray. The answer is yes. In Jerusalem, praying for my neighbors to the north, this is Joel Rosenberg for all Arab news and all Israel news. Keep praying.